Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Scream Commander Forged Alliance Forever for another replay review. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Thurnis, as always, Thurnis Haley. And how you doing?
Oh, we're doing great this time.
All right, we're gonna be reviewing the Duelist, who last time we were asking if he is power hungry, and this time we're gonna see what other joke I can make about the Duelist in the thumbnail. And yeah, that's about as far as I got into speaking about it. First land opener, very standard, very vanilla, whereas first air is always chocolate. First navy is like fucking peppermint or some shit.
I'm a little confused by this, but alright.
Why?
I don't know.
Have you never heard like vanilla chocolate? Vanilla is like basic, normal, boring.
Well, that I've heard, but then the chocolate and peppermint kind
Well, it's talking about ice cream, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, vanilla ice cream is the most boring ice cream.
Huh. All
Or
right.
maybe I just got that wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but that's the connection that I made in my brain. That's my headcanon. Let us know down in the comments who's stupid and who's smart on this one.
I've got no idea here.
He does pretty
We got
well
a very
with
basic.
what we were talking about last time of just sending engineers to build out in every direction constantly.
Yep, he's got one engineer queuing up 5 mexes and a radar, another one queuing up
3
mexes and a radar.
3 mexes, radar, 3 mexes. Oh no, that's his comm going.
What is this? This is 8 PGens Air Factory. If you're gonna go heavy land, you want to do 5 PGens Air Factory, then finish the air grid.
Can you still
8
produce
is just
antis
a
with that?
Yes. Yes. You can. Usually what I do is if I have a hydro, I do hydro.
He might
4
be going
PGens
for
Air
a
Factory.
transport to get this one mex, but I think you can cliff build it, so that would.
You can just cliff build a land factory.
Yeah.
And then.
1 second.
Better do that. Oh, he's dead. Let's see. ACU queued up to go to the far. Oh, the screen's bad.
Apologies about that, me being unprofessional and taking phone calls. What were we speaking about?
I don't know. I just had an incoherent mumbling for 20 seconds because I didn't realize you were gone.
Yeah, no, I said give me 1 second. I'm sure, I don't know if you could hear the phone call, but I'm sure the people could hear my phone off in my pocket. Had to answer a phone call to answer a question for family.
Yeah,
But-
definitely could not.
Nevertheless, let's go ahead and let's speak about what's going on. I like the Duelist's expansion, and I've always liked how the Duelist, pretty much any map, he plays a lot of ladders, so he has a good amount of practice in efficiently expanding across map. He also does pretty well with his early build order. I think the 8 PGens into Air Factory, while it's probably less efficient as you stated, at the very least he won't stall power, which is I appreciate not even getting close to stalling power.
No, he will not stall power with this. He's even got a manual reclaim order on this big rock here, so he won't stall mass for very long.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him be greedy and just go and, take these 5 mexes in the hydro to his left, because, well, quite frankly, it doesn't look like White wants to do it, so he's taking it upon himself.
I think he's just trying to let Fong get it himself. But I'm
Maybe,
not
but
sure.
it's closer. So seems like it's close to the Duelist, so I would just go grab him.
There's a scout going out, and even whenever you're not the one sending the scout out, you should try and take at least a quick peep at it. He's also found the comm of Fluffy Ginger, or you can at least look at it on the map. Scout noticing the expansion and seeing where enemies are located. He's up against Fluffy Ginger. Ghost is also down there on the south. And then whenever you see the scout go there, you can always click on your minimap.
He's doing a very good job of rebuilding these mechs up at the front with his ACU.
Yep.
He's even picked up on a raid that Fluffy Ginger was trying to do. He's gonna put a stop to that.
Commander under attack.
It is about time for T2 mexes though. You're making 31 mass, you got 600 in the bank. Either really ramp up in T1 production, or go and put those 15 T1 mechs to use for T2. You've got plenty of vital engineers in the base. Definitely get yourself an E-storage if you're going to keep yourself.
I think at this point you can just set all these engineers to assist a T2 max upgrade and actually finish it damn near. Because he has enough mass.
Yeah.
And I think he has enough power for the assist.
Commander under attack.
Nah, maybe not. He'd stall power for it.
No, he'll hit power stall. I'd throw about half those onto a T2 mech, half them upgrading to a T2 wave factory.
Yeah, he's about to overflow.
He's actually stopped building power, which now I think is a bad idea.
Okay, he does have the T2 mechs on the way, and he is gonna go assist it. So he's gonna get a T2 mechs very quickly, but this is gonna. He's already messed up any automatic reclaim that he had set up. So,
yep,
like you have this engineer over here that's just on a stroll instead of on an attack order reclaiming stuff. It's gonna start reclaiming stuff now, but it's a little bit unfortunate for him. He doesn't overflow, which is the important part, but losing all of those automated reclaim orders is good.
Yeah, and now that the next upgrade's done, it's going to happen all over again.
Yeah. More land factories. I think on a map like this, where you get so many mechs as 5 land factories is a disservice to yourself.
Yeah, I'd go with honestly probably 7. 7's a pretty good number for this. There's a lot of reclaim.
I'd be fine with anywhere from 7 to 10. Like you go all the way up to 10 if you really want to try and win at T1 land. And I think you could because your opponent is also, you counted, he's only on 4, maybe 5 T1 factories. I think people discount how long it takes to really get a significant amount of T2 on the field and how quickly you can get a lot of T2.
Definitely.
I just did a...
Can, like, be in danger? Actually.
I don't
looks like he's
probably
probably
think
going to
so.
kill Fluffy Ginger here.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a trade situation, and if it is, that'd be unfortunate. Because Duelist, I think, is playing a lot better than Fluffy Ginger is here, right here. He's got Fluffy Ginger. The moment he dies, it's time to go hardy him. I feel. Because Azuros is almost assuredly getting this base. If you can out-eco Azuros, not like 1-to-1, but out-eco the base that he got, you can run over it.
I almost think differently. You never want to just play safe once you kill someone.
I still think you produce T1 you produce T1 units and throw them towards the enemy base, but if your opponent uses their combined eco and just spams out a few factories, you just don't have the chance to really do significant damage.
Yeah.
Maybe a tactical missile launcher, but your opponent's going to have T2 pretty quickly. So
yeah, it's been scouted that that base has T2 land.
Yeah, he's getting T2 land.
So this is where I was saying that he shouldn't have stopped building T1 power, because now he has to wait for T2 engineers to come out and build his P-Gen if he wants to upgrade mexes at the same time as building T2. So now he's just running into the problem where he's dumping mass to his teammates, which isn't bad, but it's not an efficient use of your mass. It's going to put you behind your opponent.
There's also at any given time, he still has 100+ income. You can upgrade 2 T2 mexes with that, as long as unassisted. Like, sure. And
yeah, usually you don't want to do them unassisted. You want to get the upgrade done so you can move to the next one. That's what scales your eco fast. Hitting a very heavy power stall in a second. This is because he's capping T2 nexus and building a P-gen and building T2 at the same time.
Well, the mass stall is going to save him from the power stall at least.
Very heavy mass stall though.
Yeah, that's about half of his economy in mass stall. Actually, it's going to go up more as more build power is added.
Yeah, that is a very, very heavy mass stall.
He's also, with this mass stall, it's coming at the worst time because his opponent, Azuros, really went into T1 spam and is going to start being able to roll over here on the...
Yeah.
It's almost to the point where I don't think you can contest him on T1 land. You need to send a couple of these T2 engineers forward and get a fire base. Or at least dot some TPD.
He has built 6 T2 NGs. That is just an unnecessary amount.
If he wants to dot PD, then it might be okay, which is what I would do.
Yeah.
I think that he saw the Azuros' army. You're not gonna there's very low chance of you getting enough quickly to deal with that, and the longer he sits here without addressing the army, the more likely it just runs over his base or runs over Fong.
Yeah.
He is gonna be forcing the
run
army.
by.
Yeah, he's gonna get this really big run by, and I think it's gonna force Azuros to either fall back or commit to an attack, which could go either way. I think he's just gonna commit to a full attack. He does get the T2 P-gen done, but he's still in a horrible mass stall with him. I feel he's dropped the ball on economy.
Yeah.
He does get another T2 mech that was passively upgrading, at the very least, on adjacent to all those factories.
I say it in probably every replay review. You never want to stop ecoing, but you also don't want to run to the point where you're only ecoing.
And then you, of course, he could also, of course, I think, probably afford to have an easy trying to take over these tractors that he don't with. But his ally Fong is about to die unless he gets some. Well, he could get some very nice overcharges, but I don't know if Fong's going to be able to do it. No, Fong is dead. Duelist is going to get the base. No, Mythologist might.
So passively upgrading a mech like Duelist is doing is it just takes too long to get your economy going.
He also got a new base, and it's
on it.
been 20 seconds almost, and he hasn't managed to do up any. It really is. I think it really is come down to lack of APM, or he just doesn't realize he has the base yet.
That's
E3
possible
Air
because
is
he's
now
not
on
paying
the way.
attention. Yeah, if he's not zoomed out all the way, it's possible that he hasn't seen it. He did actually throw engineers and unpause this
Yeah.
P3 gen, not P-gen, Air Factory.
I think Ilshiva's will go a long way for him. He might,
LG will.
yeah, he might have the
He's
economy.
Oh, he does. He has the economy for this now. But he's only queued him up out of the HQ. These other 4
Maybe-
he's producing.
That might be an accidental control click on the HQ. Thinking it was one of the
Maybe.
support factories. Not that it's easy to do that, because the HQ does look different. Both HQ and plan factory. Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Also, whenever I say control click, I don't think I've done this. It's the same as doing a double click. It really quickly selects everything of that type on screen. So, like, really quick, if I go all the way to the edge of the screen right here, and I control click on these 2 factories, it'll only select. Oh, whoa, select all of them now?
Yeah, it selects everything.
Oh, is it control shift click
So,
to select the
if
ones
you're-
on screen?
nope,
Nope.
it still selects everything.
Huh. I wish.
So, that's why if you think you only selected the engineers on your screen and you actually selected everything, it's because you hit shift rather than control.
Okay, well, I know that double click just selects on screen.
Yes, double click, shift double click.
I
selects
usually only control click on things like factory. And I control click whenever doing But usually naval micro, you're in one.
Yeah, naval micro's a little easy.
I'll have to go into
I'm
the
not gonna
keybinds
get
and
naval
see if I can
micro.
get control click to actually just be on screen. That would be. He's doing a decent job at kind of like playing goalie with his army that's trying to push in. He's always contesting it. He's trying to stop it from being able to just free range attack him. But he's still behind on the ground production. He does have Ilshiva's now producing out of multiple factories. About to hit a mass stall that's kind of cool. He has an almost capped mechs that needs to have this final mass storage finish. In general, just more mechs is capping.
Yeah, he's got... If you think mexes aren't safe to upgrade, don't upgrade them, cap your other mexes. But in your case, you have all of these fancy little Seraphim ones that you didn't have before.
He's upgrading
which can all
one
be
of them
upgraded.
passively.
He's got a couple of them upgrading. Oh. So he's got a small problem. He accidentally upgraded a T2 into T3 and it's 30% done. That is going to put a strain on his economy for quite some time because he's only got one engineer on it. If he had a lot of engies to rush it, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but he probably just doesn't realize.
He can't really afford the stall at the moment. He needs units. And I know that you need eco and units, but like you're collapsing. You're losing more eco to the enemy units that you're gaining by upgrading mexes.
Yeah, he's got lots and lots of reclaim that he has relatively easy access to.
He does have engineers starting to pump out in the former Fong base. But it does seem like Azoros is just slowly gaining ground on him and stemming from a lack of units. His entire team has felt like they've been lack of units all game.
Yeah. That is what it seems like. He's got a large idle Seraphim Cybran army that needs to be moved up to help deal with whatever's pushing him.
Either moved up or sent on the attack.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what you need to do is you need to not think about your teammate in this case. You need to think about how you are going to secure your own two bases. You're being threatened. You don't have the resources available to help your team.
He's building a bunch of
Down
T3
the bottom.
engineers that he doesn't have a chance to build with. Like, you're already in a mass stall that's half of your economy. You really built power with 4 engineers.
Yeah, unfortunately,
There's also a massive army about to flash through your base.
yeah, he's
Nothing.
got gunships now harassing mass extractors.
He does have a lot of inties. Good deal.
Yeah, that's a quick little. You just gotta notice it and click on it.
And it's hard. I think a lot of this is needing to play a bit more zoomed out, too. I think he's playing a bit zoomed in.
Yeah, a lot of this could be noticed pretty easily. He's actually losing interceptors to Auroras that have managed to sneak through his backline. Now, props to him, he noticed when they were killed. He's already requeued them up, but he doesn't have anything to kill them. His push through the middle right now,
I like him
looks like
trying
it's
to
going
communicate
well.
with his ally, but I don't know what
Yeah,
he's really
but they're-
communicating. Like, I'm about to lose, so win is not the greatest thing.
yeah.
It's still confidence.
The push in the middle could be going a lot better if he knew there was, if he had any radar coverage over there. I'm not saying he needs an Omni because that's what would be needed. I just mean scouts, figure out where there's actually targets rather than just going for a main base. Because those few units won't make it to a main base.
I think his main base is going to be in jeopardy very soon. I think he's close to for finally about 3.
I don't know about that. It doesn't look like Azorus has any Elshies up there. But like I said, there's now 16,000 reclaim here. He really needs to get a lot more engineers in there, really ramp up his production and eco.
He has a bunch of engineers that have been dying on a rally point. I think he finally dealt with the tanks. He's dying
That's
on the
unfortunate. He's got a factory that he probably thinks is an attack queue. Actually, he's got 2 factories that are producing NGs, neither of which have an attack queue out. So he's running
He's
into
run
idle
by.
engineers in a reclaim field.
Yeah, his run by is about to make it into one of the bases, so
It looks like it's going to get completely destroyed by gunship before it does any damage. He's now got he's got a lot of Seraphim mexes at T2 now. He's even got this T3 one.
needs to be capped, that T3 one,
Those,
quickly.
yeah, they all need to be capped at this point. It just seems like a APM problem, which I can't give advice to fix.
The only advice I can give is repetition. Repetition, and earlier I would have said having a plan, but I think having a plan is a lot more difficult when you're handed a second pick. So, like,
Yeah, it's also kind of difficult to do on a map gen.
Yeah, but like with having a plan, I mean, like you come into the game with a set plan and like what you want to do. You don't necessarily need the specific build order and all the minutia of it. But that way you know what to do next. You're never sitting there trying to figure out what to do. You always have, like, you have to be thinking a step ahead in your mind, so that way you're always fast at doing whatever you're doing, and you have something else after.
It looks like what he's trying to do, he's trying to maybe APM tax Azores. He's trying to launch little raids of a few units. That works on ladder, not so much on this when he is just simply in control of 50% of the map by himself.
And there's also loyalists on the field, so if you ever wanted a unit to deal with raids, the loyalists are amazing. So fast.
Yeah.
Do you see T3 land as a response out from Duelist?
We do not. He's definitely now got the economy to go for T3 air.
He has
It
Strap
looks like
Bomber out in the
noted.
field.
Oh, he does. He's about to start overflowing a lot of mass. For whatever reason, he stopped his Cybran land production.
He still needs it. Like, desperately. That might be... Yeah, that seems like it's
He's
gonna
got
be
a
the-
lot of build power in this base. He could certainly rush that HQ, T3.
He has a ton of
Yeah,
idle
no.
engineers in this.
Right now, he's overflowing. He can't do anything with it.
Yeah, I know.
He needs to just click all of his T1 mexes into T2 and cap everything. That would solve math problems temporarily.
I don't think that solving... That's the... I think you need to use... This mass needs to be turned into you. There's no easy thing. He's about to be losing a bunch of mexes to gunships. He has this massive army on his front door that he has no hopes to deal with.
Yes, his strap bomber's about to be shot down by ASF.
I
out
wonder
the
if
door.
stopping all of his Cybran production was an accident.
It definitely could have been.
It
I don't
doesn't
see any reason why he
feel
would do
like
that.
you want. He is getting damage done onto Azuros' economy with the Strap Bomber, but now Azuros has his own ASF out. So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's nothing he can do about it, but there's a bunch of gunships killing his mass extractors in the back.
There's also units coming up from Goza that ran through the base of his ally. To his main base, he's gonna lose 3 P-Gen.
Yeah, it looks like this is just the final push.
Yeah, this is
I
just
see
over.
no way. I see no way of them stopping this. Yeah, with that, his opponent just controlled Cade.
All right. Well, with that, I don't think there's any more advice I can give. You're dying. There's no way to die more gracefully.
Commander under
Take as many units as you can with you.
Yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you to the Duelist for supporting the channel. In fact, we just did a co-cast with the Duelist, so that might be over on his channel if you want to check it out. You all are beautiful. Let me know down below if you have any criticism or advice or thing on the replay review series. And speaking of which, final words of advice. One thing that Duelist can do to maybe improve his next few games, in your opinion? I don't have anything. I think I play just as badly as.
So I think he plays on a very micro scale rather than a macro scale. He was doing well microing his units only. Once he inherited the second base, it just kind of really dropped off. He lost.
But how do you practice
perspective.
inheriting a second? It's hard to practice.
You don't. It's hard to practice inheriting a second base.
Unless you're
That's-
playing with Thurnus Haley on the map Onslaught, where you get a second base every fucking game. That's how I practiced it a little bit, because there was a lot of games where, like, back to back, I was controlling two bases.
We don't worry about that. No, but it's as you got to play bigger maps and you got to play more zoomed out. It's not a second base thing. It's an APM thing. You got to kind of. It's kind of like training yourself. You got to stress yourself so you can pick up more things every game.
All right. Well,
unfortunately, he had mass problems. That was a big thing too.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. You all have been beautiful. See you in the next one. And any closing words, Thurnus?
Not this time.
Okay. Peace.